Hello everyone, Chrisa here, and today for the exercise of the week, we will be focusing in the upper body when we are getting into pivots. So I know this is a matter that we have been working on for some time, but it's also a matter of trouble. The only extra thing that I want to tell you before we get started is that all this information is stemming from, and these explorations are stemming from um, our anatomy and how we are created to move. So, when we're talking about how the rotation is coupled with a side bend, that is based on the structure of our spine. Now, you can, of course, use muscle to try to hide it because it will happen internally. It will happen. You can use muscle to try to hide the side bend, for example, like this. But the question would be, do you want to do it, and why is it important? Is it necessary to do it? But that I'm going to leave up to you, and hopefully you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. But also, with this extra detail now that you have in mind, you can tell how the different styles have decided to respond to that question. And some are they keep everything very square. And there are styles that they actually exaggerate that side bend. And, every style is slightly different. So from that detail, you can tell how the person who, or the group who created each style, how they responded to questions like that. So with no further ado, let's get started. All right, so start next to an artificial partner. It will make things a little bit easier. And we're going to start with the exercise that we did last week. So let's start with the foot that we have closer to that artificial partner. That could be like a sill or the wall or a chair, whichever one. Just make sure that it doesn't move around. It's relatively steady. So start with a leg that you have towards that artificial partner and place it at the front at a staggered stance. Just make sure that you're not crossing one foot over or that you're not stepping too far out. So avoid that one line situation, or stepping too far out from the center line of the body. So if this is the center line of the body, this is where our heel wants to orient towards. So you can take a sneak. You can still see my back foot here. So not one line. Okay, find it. And let's start following the trajectory of weight transfer. So we're finding that those two seashells on each foot, basically as we're going, we're finding that we're following the meaty part of our foot. Keep going for a little bit. And as you go, you start relaxing the upper body and you start noticing what the upper body is doing. And you'll notice that there is a little bit of this. And there is also a little bit of this rotation. So there's a side-to-side reach. And there is also rotation around the vertical axis. And as we said, these two go very nicely together. They're coupled in the spine. And there's also a little bit of this sagittal wave. And I'm exaggerating just so you can see that the three different waves in the spine. But try to feel them. Let's do 4 more. And that's another benefit of having a partner. You can close your eyes and those movements become more apparent. Let's do 1 more. Good. And settle over the front foot. And there's still some weight at the back, but we're almost there. So you're relatively at the front of the foot, but not there yet. This would be being there when there's no weight at the back foot. But we're not just there yet. There is a little bit of weight on the back foot. So settle here and notice that we're almost over that spot where we want to be in order to be able to pivot. So actually, let's do this together. Go all the way, feel that you can lift the toes off the floor, and notice that now you'd be able to pivot. So in terms of alignment, that's where you want to be. You don't want to be over the toes, fully lifting your heel off the floor, and you don't want to be here. It can still work, but it takes a lot more effort. So that's the spot between the second and third metatarsals. But we're not just there yet. Find this position now and notice how your hips are oriented towards the free leg, and the upper body is oriented towards the standing leg. And now give me a little kick. We're going to exaggerate that last little pulse that we need. So exaggerate it. And if you look this up, look up the stages of our walking when on Google, of our walking, meaning human walking. And you'll see that this is called pre-swing. So notice how this gives you a little bit of an engine, right? Boom. So a little bit of engine here. Good. Last one, and stay up. And notice now how the upper body is oriented towards the free leg and the lower body is oriented towards the standing leg. And we have a side bend coupled with a torsion, and we are in extension in the spine. And if we're going to swing the leg, which is exactly what we're going to do, we're going to take that arm with us. And last one. And back to the initial position. So let's put the two together. Free swing, change. Back to the initial position. So we start with upper body towards the standing leg, lower body towards the free leg. We get to this pre-swing, these two go to opposite. We swing through, and notice how the body changes again. Let's go here. And step back. One more time. Good. And it's this moment where the body comes to square, and then it changes again. Last time. Good. And now this time, we're going to go pre-swing. Let this happen. And come back. Create your engine. And come back. Create your engine. And come back. The upper body will go first compared to the lower body. Last one. Good. Finish it off. And change sides, as it was expected. Let's give that leg a little bit of a rest. Place the other foot at the front And let's go through that massage phase. Now you know the pattern. We're looking for those meaty areas of our foot that can give us support and comfort as we're shifting the weight. So we're not going over the arch of the foot. We're also not having a strong heel. We're very soft. It's a soft negotiation getting down there on the floor. And when we're going back again, we're not dropping over our heel, but we're priming that leg to receive the weight. And now take your mind all up to the spine and notice the 3 waves, side to side, around, and a little sea wave. Good. And now settle over the front and notice that there is still a little bit of weight there. Notice how the upper body here is oriented towards the standing leg, lower body towards the free leg, and now create that pre-swing where things go opposite, and it's the moment of momentum and extra energy, the moment of the machine. One more. And now swing through. And let the body comfortably swing along. So, let me just turn this way so you can see me. Keep going. This is a very structured approach. This is a little bit more free, where you're seeing that there is a change, almost like a figure 8 happening all the time. And turn again. And let's go back to the toes and swing once and step. 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 So one more step. 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 Good. Trying to notice the opportune moment for a pivot. Let's go. Place those toes down. Create, so we're not back here. We are here. Just as the toes are about to leave the floor and go into the pre-swing where your heel kicks back, that's when the body starts to orient, changes its orientation. And that's where we're creating that extra momentum that we're going to use to pivot. Come back. 4 more. Notice also that the arm, as it's more free and it's directly connected to the upper body, can reach around faster than the leg. So there is a little bit of a time lapse. Last one. Good. And let's go continuous from one side to the other side. But now we're going to start. Find this position. Come back. Find this position with the only focusing on the upper body. So, and pause here. Notice that there's still weight on my back foot at this moment. Notice that as I'm trying to reach, and this is the moment that I was talking to you about, you can square things off so you look like this. And you're going to start feeling that there is a lot of muscle work happening. Or you can allow for this slight side reach to happen, which is happening anyways, because that's how we're structured, how our spine is structured. You can fight it, or you can let it show up just a little bit. So let's go again. As a just for today, that you let it show up, just so you can inform your knowing. Hold. Good. And now there's still a little bit of weight. This is the moment. And now we have the pre-swing. And you try to let this part from here down. Imagine this is all lower body. This is all lower body. Let it go back with the leg. And keep from here up this rotated twist. And pivot. Spread the weight. Split the weight. Come back to facing front. And let me just position myself better. There we go. And let's find that upper body. An excellent cue is your breathing. If you're breathing with flow, it means that you're doing great. If your breathing is inhibited and you feel like you're holding your breath, it means that you're using extra muscle and you're holding in a position that doesn't allow you to comfortably and fully breathe. So that's a good cue if you're not sure if you're doing this correctly. And hold. And notice that there is still a little bit of weight here. Notice also that coupling that we were talking about, the rotation with a little bit of a side reach. And now go into that pre-swing. And notice the reorientation, the whole, imagine this area, this whole space is lower body. From here up is upper body. And notice also how when this part changes and rotates, the upper part enhances that side reach. Notice also, so many things happening, that already the hips are oriented towards the standing leg. Last one. Okay. All together now. Find your position and step, 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 step. Feel the pre-swing, even though now we're not exaggerating anymore.